Is President Lukashenko showing any signs at all of backing down? Really a hard question to pose when looking at these images.
Yeah, so far the TV pictures, as you mentioned, are pretty compelling on that front. He confronted the demonstrators yesterday afternoon with phalanxes of riot police and barbed wire around his residence, and then he flew in on a helicopter in a flak jacket carrying an automatic rifle with his 15-year-old son, who also had an automatic rifle, and Lukashenko went out and greeted the riot police guarding the residents and thanked them for their support. So he clearly is trying to show a tough line, at least publicly, and he's threatened to take more measures to crack down on the protests starting this week, closing factories where workers have gone on strike and going after more protest organizers. Though it's unclear whether he can marshal the kind of crackdown that it would take to suppress such an enormous movement. The protests yesterday were sort of more than 100,000 people, at least in the capital, and in tens of thousands in other cities as well. Certainly the biggest that have been seen there since the collapse of the Soviet Union.
Greg, just briefly, I heard the foreign minister of Russia calling for dialogue over the weekend. What is it broadly that Russia thinks at the moment of all this?
Russia's trying to play a bit of a balancing game here. They've publicly supported Lukashenko, criticized the opposition, but they'd like to see some sort of dialogue. And we're hearing some signs that they're worried that the political damage he's sustained in this crisis will make it hard for him to continue to rule as he has for the last 26 years. So that they'd like to see some kind of they wouldn't be allergic to some sort of compromise as long as Belarus stayed relatively firmly in Russia's orbit.